and welcome to Design and Business Conversations for Creatives, and today I am chatting with you all about Anna. So I met Anna on Instagram and I was instantly drawn to her artwork and her strong graphic style that was really relatable because it's Kiwi inspired and I love that, and it's also got a lot of nature in it. And yeah, I just wanted to have you on because I did a video a couple of weeks ago with Joe from Simply White Design and it went really well and it had a good reception, and then I reached out to Anna and she was keen, and here she is. Just a little bit of background about yourself.
I'm been a graphic designer for about 18 years. I did a Bachelor of Media Arts at Wintec in Hamilton, and in my third year I fell pregnant with my first daughter, Mia.
Oh wow.
And so she was always planned but just not quite then. It actually helped me because instead of going out living the party life with my other friends, I was actually in at the labs doing my graphic design, and I think I actually attribute my better grades to being pregnant because I didn't have hangovers, you see.
Not partying.
Yeah, not partying. So I actually did pretty well in that year, but
Cool.
I actually got toxemia at the end. So that's a pregnancy related thing where you see stars everywhere and you get dangerously high blood pressure. It was touch and go whether it actually finished because I was so sick and they were like going to give me a grade, based on my performance, but I really wanted to finish because I knew that I'd never go back. Being a young mum, getting back to study, it was unrealistic. So I powered through, literally finished, and then ended up in hospital for the last month of my pregnancy on complete bed rest. We got moved off to Matamata with my husband. He was then my fiance, but he had to get his act together too, and he got a job in Matamata. I had a new baby. Yeah, it was a new life. My friends were probably now on an OE, and I was feeling quite alone and thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I didn't even have a license at that point, and we didn't even own a car. We had nothing. That empowered me. I really needed to make something, to provide for my child.
Yeah.
And then 6 months down the track, a job came up at the local printers. I was like, I really want this job, and I ended up getting it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
cool.
great.
So I got the job and they took a chance on me. That's where I developed my love for printing and paper.
Cool.
So neat being able to see the project from development right through to seeing it printed on the press and colour. And I did a graphic communication apprenticeship with Print New Zealand, and I actually came top of my year, the top graphic design print apprentice. And I think that also comes back to me wanting to continue to learn to be able to do the best for my family. So as well as being a young mum, I was doing this now apprenticeship. So I was studying in the evenings, and I also did a business management course. So I was traveling back and forth to Hamilton to do that. And my husband, I couldn't have done it without him. My love of graphic design then turned into a love of digital drawing. And so I started a creative outlet because after all that graphic design work, I was doing stuff for clients, which I loved, but I need to then do stuff with no boundaries for myself. And my artwork became my way to release my energy. And my sister was like, oh, I know a good shop, your work would be perfect. And then I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I'll go and see them. And then so she's the one that she was the catalyst.
So cool.
She was the catalyst.
An advocate.
Yeah, she believed in my work, and I thought it was just a bit of fun for me. But she was like, oh no, you can tell people about this. And these days I'm very passionate about my art and I'm taking it really seriously. And after doing graphic design for so long, I'm wanting to now pursue and see if I can push forward and sustainably do it as a full-time artist.
Cool. So graphic designer merged into more of an artist.
Some of the work from a previous challenge is sort of digital art.
Everyone needs to see this.
This is from an old Inktober challenge. And so digital art is the portrait, and then ink pen. I'm a person that suffers from anxiety. So doing these sorts of patterns is sort of meditative for me.
Therapeutic.
Therapeutic.
Yeah,
It's sort of like,
I get that.
Yeah, so these intricates, stay wild. That's
yeah.
so
cool.
that sort of just comes out of me, organic. So that's sort of where I'm at. I have been on Pinterest, and so I've been exploring inspirations of way now to bring back colour into my work. Really, another way I've come into my own as an artist doing 100-day challenges and Inktober. It's been really good for me in developing a style. I used to drink quite a lot of alcohol, and not on a regular basis, but when I drank far too much. And I think that was a way of me dealing with my anxiety. So rather than feel the feelings, I would drink alcohol, and it was becoming a problem for me, and I wasn't liking the person I was becoming, and it wasn't good for my children. I've actually not drunk alcohol for 2 years now, and I attribute that to the 100-day challenge because I really wanted to do this challenge.
Cool. Well, my first question on the list is why did you start your business? But I think that you've already mentioned that And that what I'm hearing, and it's coming through quite clearly, is everything that you've done has been with your children in mind right from the get-go.
Definitely.
Which is awesome.
And so everything to provide the sort of best life for my family, but to be a good role model for them as well.
What inspires you?
I was really inspired by the pop art movement. I fell in love with Roy Lichtenstein and Andy Warhol back in high school when I discovered them in art history.
Yeah,
just
me too.
Absolutely love them, right? That was showing through in my work, the love of the Ben-Day dot, and that sort of linked up with my love for print too. And it sort of just evolved, you know, I do a lot of black solid lines, and I think maybe that's the pop art aspect coming through. Other things that inspire my art is my love for the outdoors. I'm sure a lot of New Zealanders, you'd hear a lot of New Zealand artists speak about their love of flora and fauna, but I think we're so grateful where we live, and so that really does come through.
And one thing that drew me to your art in particular were the big pieces that have a lot of ferns and fantails and tuis and that real Kiwiana vibe, but the natural side.
My love of that just sort of comes out when you draw. I don't necessarily sometimes have a plan, just a blank bit of
It's
paper.
just like merging out of you.
And you're like, oh, okay.
I'm very similar in that respect, and we were just talking about that before, chatting on camera, is, yeah, mood-based, kind of create as we feel, and I think that's cool because you get really authentic pieces that way, hey? My next question is, can you describe your process?
Okay, so my current process, it's evolved over quite some time, but I've been a graphic designer for 18 years, pretty old school in my methods. Currently I'm drawing in ink like my scrapbooks, I suppose, from doing my challenges, then I'm scanning them into my computer, and then I'm taking them into Adobe Illustrator and I'm redrawing them in different layers as vectors.
Cool.
And so that's my current process. I'm looking at getting an iPad Pro with an pencil, so I'm researching into that.
I think you'll like that. I think that's,
yeah.
So I think we have very similar style in that respect when it comes to design. I'm the same. I vectorize everything. I'm an Illustrator girl. You know, with graphic designers, there's some people are InDesign people or Photoshop people, or there's different areas that you connect with better, but we're fairly similar in that respect with quite graphic, vector-based
Definitely.
design and art. You have your sketchbooks, I think.
Okay.
I'll show you sketchbooks.
Okay, what have we got?
A little insight to the process. Wow.
So that's one of the first ones I did when I started getting out the pen.
So on pen to paper first,
Yeah.
and then you take this into Illustrator and then vectorize it.
Vectorize it, yes.
Cool.
And why I like to vectorize it is because it's obviously our graphic design nature coming through. Once you vectorize it, it will never lose quality at any scale. I actually still use a mouse. Like click, click. So every time I do the pen,
Same.
Yeah. So you can imagine why the pencil's going to change my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I same here.
Yeah.
I'll show you later.
Yeah.
And if anyone watches it, if you watched Anna or I on the mouse vectorizing stuff, like if anyone gets insight on that process, like what? Whoa, because it's just like okay.
When I studied, there wasn't really the internet. We went to the library and got inspiration from journals and magazines. Adobe Illustrator I don't think exists. We had freehand and we had these different applications.
Yeah, wow.
And the digital cameras wasn't a thing. So you had to send a photograph away to be drum scanned. So it would take 3 days and it was really expensive. So the industry has changed so much.
And you've had to evolve with that.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
So even though I studied Bachelor of Media Arts, obviously what I learnt there, you know, still foundations, but the applications didn't exist or anything. So the learning has now come from YouTube. It's been so beneficial. So YouTube's really inspiring. There's so many good tutorials on there to teach me Illustrator because I had to be self-taught because
of course you didn't learn it at
I didn't learn it at school, so I had to upskill. So you've got to continually, because the evolution, I mean, like I said, when I started, you didn't have digital cameras.
I feel like you look my age, and I learnt on Illustrator at high school, so it's speaking to you and thinking I'm kind of putting you at my age level, but to think of that, I didn't even think of that.
But do you know what my high school design teacher told me? And I get away from the computer, you're using it too much. Get away. Because it wasn't a thing. You don't do it on the computer.
And now everyone's like, get off the computer, you're on it too much.
Yeah, because for a designer, telling a graphic designer, get off the computer. Because I'd done up my sketches, but I wanted to put it into the computer, but she was, no, your finals were drawn and stuff.
My next question is, do you have any advice for a newbie? So someone that's similar to you and wanting to start working as an artist full-time or even part-time, but as a living.
Absolutely. It's important that you've got the right support network. So you make sure that you think about it logically and just actually make out financially you can do it, that you're ready. First I started bridging it, like I was working a full-time job, and like I said, I'd get up early and do it in my spare time. But the key thing is, if you love what you do, just go for it. The biggest thing that can stop yourself is literally yourself. And that's
100%.
some of the biggest barriers is me stopping myself and truly believing that I can do it. Connect with like-minded people. You become who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
So make sure you're connecting, reaching out to the people in your community. You can all sort of help each other on your journey and uplift and inspire each other. Mindset is so important. As a person with anxiety, you can let yourself down and you can't follow it through. You've got to look after yourself.
Yeah, I have two sayings. One is, you are your only limit to your dreams. You are going to be your own worst critic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just get out there and just do it.
It's really true, because I think if you put in those barriers yourself,
exactly.
you're never going to be ready. You're never going to have the best camera. You're never going to,
Yeah, exactly. You keep moving the bar each time though, because once you've done that, you think, oh my gosh, I need that too. And it's a little bit of fear, maybe. The fear that's projecting it.
Absolutely.
But you've got to start, because guess what? You don't know what you don't know. You have no idea until you get there, and then you learn. And then you've always got to learn from your mistakes, because mistakes teach you. Well, now you know what will work. Try that, try that, try that. Keep going.
Yeah, great advice there. Thank you. So then, what is the future of your biz?
Well, the future of my business is I am wanting to be able to sustain myself as a full-time artist and financially contribute to my family and to continue to do what I love. And as I learn more and grow as an artist, I then want to be able to give back to the art community. It can be a lonely road sometimes. Some people aren't forthcoming with information. You learn so much along the way. I like to share the nuggets I learn to help other people, because I'm about winning together. So I hope to be able to share with...
Well, that's awesome. But that's what we're doing here today.
Yeah, the same sort of thing, being able to give back.
Or sharing your experience might help somebody that's feeling a similar thing, like you mentioned with your anxiety before, and how drawing is an escape or a release from that. I think that a lot of people will connect with that, and you know, it's quite comforting if you're having those kind of feelings to know that you're not the only one. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I think you're doing good things. And just lastly, where can people find you?
You can find me on my Facebook page, which is Anna Mollekin Art, or you can find me on my Instagram, which I'm a regular. I love Instagram. So Anna Mollekin
That's how
Art.
we met.
Instagram. Instagram is wonderful.
Yeah.
I've connected with so many amazing people through Instagram. Find me now on Pinterest. Thanks to Cheyney.
Yes, Pinterest. We love Pinterest.
Love Pinterest. Yes, your video was amazing. That's Cheyney reignited my love for Pinterest. I watched your video like 3 times because I kept having to pause to get all the goodness out of it. Anna Mollekin Art too. Anna Mollekin Art is where it's at.
And I will link all of these below. Thank you for coming, Anna, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up or subscribe using the buttons below. Hit the notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Bye!